What if the United States government suddenly told you that your American birth certificate meant absolutely nothing? In January 2025, President Donald Trump signed an executive order challenging a 150-year-old constitutional guarantee. The move triggered a series of legal challenges that moved through the federal court system at a speed rarely seen in modern litigation. We are breaking down the 2026 Supreme Court case, Trump versus Barbara, because it dictated the future of American citizenship, and you need to know how it happened. The battle and the laws we are analyzing today apply strictly to the United States federal government, specifically interpreting the U.S. Constitution and federal immigration statutes. Welcome to The Legal Way. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered legal advice. Laws vary by state and country, so always consult a licensed attorney in your jurisdiction. The crisis centers on a high-stakes collision: newly asserted executive authority versus long-standing constitutional precedent. To understand the architecture of this conflict, we have to start in 1868, right after the end of the Civil War. The United States added the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, specifically to guarantee citizenship to newly freed slaves. This post-war amendment effectively overturned the 1857 Dred Scott ruling, which had denied citizenship to Black Americans. Section 1 of the 14th Amendment establishes the strict baseline for who belongs to the country. It explicitly requires a person to be born or naturalized in the United States, but it adds a second requirement: the individual must be subject to the jurisdiction thereof. Congress later codified this exact constitutional rule into federal statute under Title 8, Section 1401 of the United States Code. While the 14th Amendment established the foundation, the specific legal definition of jurisdiction remained unsettled for decades. The test case arrived in 1898. Wong Kim Ark was a man born in San Francisco to Chinese immigrant parents. Upon returning from a trip abroad, he was denied entry back into the U.S. under the Chinese Exclusion Act. He resisted the denial, pushing the dispute to the Supreme Court in the case United States versus Wong Kim Ark. The court ultimately ruled in his favor. Filling in that structural gap, the court established a definitive rule: almost anyone born on U.S. soil is an American citizen at birth, regardless of their parents' race or nationality. This 1898 decision integrated birthright citizenship into federal law, establishing the standard for how the government treats children born to non-citizens. That standard stood for over a century, until January 20, 2025. On that day, President Trump signed Executive Order 14160. The action was officially titled Protecting the Meaning and Value of American Citizenship. The order sought to end automatic citizenship for babies born in the U.S. to undocumented immigrants or individuals holding temporary visas. This explicitly targeted populations, like international students and tech workers residing in the country on a temporary basis. This executive action applied direct pressure to the existing framework. Supporters argued the 14th Amendment was intended only for people owing political allegiance to the U.S. Under this theory, jurisdiction never applied to foreign tourists or those crossing the border illegally. Immigrant rights groups immediately challenged the order in court. They warned that enforcing this rule would instantly strip basic rights from millions of people. The primary concern was the sudden creation of a population of stateless children, legally belonging to no country at all. This controversial executive order triggered an instantaneous reaction: a massive nationwide class action lawsuit, legally known as Trump versus Barbara. This lawsuit forced the judiciary to decide if a single executive order could override a century of constitutional interpretation. The legal battle rapidly escalated to the highest court in the nation. On June 30, 2026, the Supreme Court handed down a 6-3 decision. Chief Justice John Roberts officially authored the landmark opinion for the conservative majority. The court officially struck down the executive order, addressing the status of anyone born in the United States to parents who are unlawfully or temporarily present. The court issued a definitive ruling. Returning to our structural model, the ruling confirmed that these individuals are still fully subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. The ruling clarified the limits of presidential power. An executive action cannot be used to rewrite constitutional requirements. Birthright citizenship was upheld as a constitutional guarantee, protected from executive override. In the political debate following the ruling, Donald Trump took to social media. He posted that the United States is the only country in the world stupid enough to give away citizenship in this manner. But does that claim hold up under international law? Let's check the data. This global map tracks data from the CIA World Factbook, which shows at least 33 other countries, mostly across the Americas, including Canada, Mexico, and Brazil, offer unconditional birthright citizenship. Given the 2026 ruling, here is the practical legal takeaway for those affected. If you or your child were born in the United States, your citizenship is constitutionally protected, regardless of the immigration status of the parents. The most actionable step right now is to obtain a certified copy of your U.S. birth certificate and apply for a United States passport. Under federal law, a U.S. passport serves as conclusive proof of your citizenship, protecting you from administrative confusion at borders or government agencies. Thank you for watching and analyzing the law with us today. The Supreme Court has issued its ruling, but the political debate surrounding immigration policy remains active. Do you agree with the 2026 decision? Should birthright citizenship remain automatic, or is a constitutional amendment necessary? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you found this breakdown helpful, share the video, and subscribe for more deep dives into U.S. law.